With the tagline, "We believe change starts with you," You Happy Events assists sponsors and volunteers to create events for their beneficiaries. Joining us in the studio this morning is Harvard Uy de Baron, founder of the organization. Hello, Harvard, or Kuya Harvard. He has an ID that says Kuya Harvard.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
So, good
Can
morning.
you explain Kuya Harvard? Good morning.
Well, basically our concept is essential because we want volunteers to do something.
Okay.
Instead of just working hard on their jobs, we want them to free up their weekends and do something for children.
Okay.
So simply what we do is we invite a sponsor and an individual to sponsor an event and tap a beneficiary of children who needs help and put them together. And through that event, we hope that volunteers participate and two things happen. There's a support and there's also the values. And the values talks about whether we teach a skill or we tell them to improve something, or basically just learning from one another. So,
all right. So this is what happens. Tell me if I get it right.
Right.
There's a group of children.
Yes.
Who have a specific need.
Right.
Or do you look at that specific need, or?
Well, it depends on what the sponsor is looking sometimes. If they're looking for a group that is inclined to something, then we find that match for them.
Okay.
Or or on the other hand, a group is needing something, then we look for a company
that can provide that need.
Can provide that need. So which one comes first? Yeah.
If it's is there, in your experience, no, how many sponsors are there that are looking for a need? Is there more than there are children in need looking for sponsors?
Definitely, there's more children in need.
Children in need.
There are probably 1,000 NGOs out there who we partner.
Okay.
And ask them, what do you need? And we obviously try to find the need, but obviously the companies are still somehow they're still struggling on their finances, and, on their budgets, on how much they can actually allocate.
But a lot of companies don't have CSR programs.
Yes, they do. But we come in, we tell the CSR programs, we tell them, let's improve it. Let's put in more money in it.
Okay.
Let's make it more hands-on. So instead of just giving money, for example, let's involve your employees. Let your employees experience volunteerism.
All right. Let's go to the experience. So there's a group of children that are in need.
Yes.
And how do you look for the sponsor for the children?
There are different ways.
Phone calls?
Make phone calls, that's one. We use Facebook a lot to ask individuals if they want to participate also in the sponsorship. Or we simply tap our friends who works in different companies and ask them, hey, we have an event coming up. Maybe your company is interested to partner with us.
How long have you been doing this?
Since 2006.
And how many events have you organized?
We've done 164.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
How many children?
Well, it's hard to count, but maybe
Estimate.
Pretty much around 7,000 kids.
7,000 kids.
Yeah.
Okay, take us through the experience. So there's a group of kids who need help, and you find a sponsor.
Yes.
And you find volunteers.
Yes.
What happens on the day?
On the day itself, we try to conceptualize different types. So we've done, for example, last Sunday, we've done this skating activity. We're in MOA, Mall of Asia.
Okay.
So we called on SM and told them, hey, do you want to give these kids a free ice skating experience? And they said yes.
Okay.
And then we called on our volunteers and said, hey, we have some kids wanting to ice skate. Can you partner with them and give them a total experience?
Okay.
And they said yes.
Okay.
So now we got some volunteers and an SM together to make an activity for children.
Okay, volunteerism and the volunteers. When you say partner with the kids, what do you exactly ask the volunteers to do?
We give an orientation to the volunteers and we tell them to be open in what
does that mean?
Open meaning learn to listen when a kid's interactive and learn to talk when the kid's silent. So open up a conversation with them. Ask them about their lives and what they're doing and how that volunteer can either just say a positive word or share his life also for that kid. We've done different types of events and we try to do different ones because we want to target different sponsors and different volunteers depending on their interests. So whether that's a sports event or a dance event or a art event or music, we do different types.
Do you do multiple activities in one event?
Yes, multiple activities. Besides the central theme, for example.
Right.
Let's say we want to teach them how to dance. We put in an entertainment component. Whether we invite a magician or an acrobat, depending on what's fitting or what the interests of the kids are that we invited.
And at the end of the day, what's the takeaway for the kids?
Well, there's a lot of takeaway for the volunteers.
Yes,
and of course,
as well.
When we tell the mindset is it's all for the kid.
Right.
There's a benefit for the kid. They learn something new. They get some support from the volunteers and the sponsors. But really, the volunteer is activated to do something more. The volunteer learns so much. The volunteer fulfills himself. The volunteer meets new people.
Right.
And I think it's really more for the volunteer when they actually go out of their way and do something for kids. We have this program. We call it Profile Exchange. So when a volunteer comes to an event, they are partnered with one kid. So it's a 1:1 thing. And we give out this profile exchange, which enables them to fill up information about each other. So that can be from favorite food, from favorite artists, from what they want to be in, what they want to do when they are old for the kids, and then the volunteer messages the kid on the paper. That serves as a reconnect on their next encounter.
How many % of these relationships continue after the initial experience?
Honestly, not a lot.
Yeah.
Because we believe that there's a lot of volunteers who want to experience events just for one time. And hopefully, we don't know when they're going to be activated and come back and do something more. But probably 15 to 25% of these volunteers come back and meet these kids again. Or on a higher note, around 60% of volunteers who volunteered before come back and re-volunteer.
You've been doing this since 2006.
Yes.
Have you seen a change in the mindset in terms of volunteerism in this country?
I actually, we're part of this booth in Miriam yesterday and today. It's actually a volunteerism fair. I mean, the VSO, the group, actually invited so many different volunteer groups. And we've seen this happening every year. There are a lot of volunteer initiatives. There's volunteer conferences. And I think this is an industry that's continued to grow. And volunteerism, I think, is just on the rise up. Because our group or different groups have come up with different ways to entice volunteers to participate.
Are there any plans, have you worked with government, and are there any plans to institutionalize volunteerism in any government program?
So far, government has been absent in a way that we tried to reach out, but we chose to do it private instead. Because government could have a lot of requirements. We've done some, but then there's always
You wish there were more.
Yes, we wish there were more. But right now, it's really more in private and NGOs that we're working with. And we hope that volunteerism becomes really something significant in this country.
Where can they get in touch with you?
Well, we have a website. So you can go to our website. That's letter U, happyevents.com. On that link, you can actually do a lot of things. First thing, you can check out our events that's coming up. On this Christmas, we have this 12 Days of Christmas. And basically, that's 12 different events that you can participate in. So that's 12.
Starting when?
We started last Sunday.
Last Sunday,
We had one yesterday.
All right.
We have one today. And there's 6 next week. And these are different locations, different beneficiaries. So you can check it out in our website. At the same time, you can also click a component in the site which we call Create Your Own. So now we activate volunteers who wants to make their own event. So let's say it's your birthday, or you just want to celebrate, or maybe it's a season of giving and you want to share. You know, 13th month is really high, and why not? Why not just give out some of that? Put up an event. We assist you. We do it to you for free.
Great. Congratulations, and thanks for doing what you're doing.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me.
Harvard Louis de Baron or Kuya Harvard?
Kuya Harvard, yes.
Kuya Harvard. All right, thanks. The fourth historic fight between